Oh, it's Carrie here, and a little bit more for the garden update. What is happening today? So I did a whole bunch of harvesting this weekend, because it's like what, the second weekend in September, I think. And oh my God, look at these tomatoes! Oh, what? Beautiful, beautiful! Oh my God. That was from yesterday, and I did a ton of tomato sauce cooking yesterday. I did like a big, ouch, like a Sunday sauce kind of thing. Threw in a bunch of meat that I had in my freezer that I wasn't quite sure what it was. This is the tomatoes I took today. Oh my God. These are the ones coming from my back row that have like the choicest stuff. Oh. And a lot of the ones here, like this one, these ones, and these ones. Oh, and these ones down here, there's more underneath. Let me show you. Oop. These guys under there are all different segregates from this one tomato that I got last year that grew from a plant that didn't have a leaf type that it was supposed to have. And so I kind of figured there would be mixes in the next generation, so grew those out. And oh my God, they're amazing! I did a big kale harvest, kale harvest today. And then all of these greens. What are those greens that look just like weeds, you might ask? These are dandelion greens. And when I lived in Italy, I grew up in Italy, and when I lived there, Cicoria was one of my favorite greens. Whenever I would see them at the restaurant, I would get them. And there's a couple different ways that they make them in Italy. The two most common ones are aglio olio peperoncino, and that's with olive oil, garlic, and hot pepper. And you basically just saute them in a pan like that. And then the other way is cold with olive oil and lemon juice, and both are equally delicious. So today, because I cannot eat all of this dandelion greens today, I'm going to basically be blanching them so that I can freeze them in batches. I'm just going to take like Ziploc bags and stuff them full of greens. And so I'll have my greens throughout the winter. But the first thing that I got to do is clean these babies up, soak them in some salt water. I do that just because if there's any buggies or things on the leaves, it will kill them. That's what is happening right here with this kale. This is in a saltwater soak. This is all different kind of kale mixed in here. So I have like, this is scarlet kale, and woo, this one here is Italian Tuscan kale, also known as dinosaur kale. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different kale in here. Blue Scotch kale's in there also. Then this one here is rainbow dinosaur kale, which is sort of a hybrid. Yeah, there's a lot of really, really good different greens out there, and I like them all. Alrighty, so I'm going to get to washing some of these, and I'll show you how I cut them up. I'm going to cut them to about here. So basically where they start to get little green fleckies, that's where I'm going to cut it to. These ones are pretty thin, so I probably will do even more than that. But I'm also going to do them in about 1.5 inch pieces, something like that. Yeah. And don't have to be too exact, just roughly. And so I get something like this. And then these ones are going to go into a bucket for saltwater soaking. Okay, I have finally cleaned and chopped up all of the dandelion greens, or the cicoria. And now what I'm going to do to basically make sure everything's clean is dump in a bunch of salt. And then water. I'm going to soak in this for a bit, and then I'm going to rinse it out with a salad spinner. I don't know if you can hear me, it's kind of loud with this. Okay, so I'm just getting my hand in there and squishing it all around, make sure everything is getting washed here in the salt water. You want to just agitate it like that. Woo! And then leave it to soak for a bit. Hello. So, ooh, dirty. Hello, YouTube. I'm doing a little tasting kit this afternoon for one of my classes. Well, it's not really for one of my classes, but the instructor also grows tomatoes. And we were talking about them after class, and he's going to bring in some so I can save some seeds from him, and I thought I would bring some in so he could save some seeds. I made a little tomato tasting kit. So I've got all these, oh, look at these gorgeous. There's a bunch of cherry tomatoes underneath, and then all these different varieties of tomatoes, some edible flowers, some different kinds of basil. I've got bread that's been rubbed with some garlic that I grew myself also, salt, pepper, and olive oil, a cutting board, some napkins. The napkins are actually to save seeds. It's not for wiping your hands. A knife that's serrated for cutting tomatoes, and some plates. So I figured that would be a good little tomato tasting kit.